Ryan loved roller coasters, going to Fridays, comic books, his family, his cat Buttercup, and he just discovered basketball. So Ryan was only 12 years old. He didn't get a chance to learn how to drive a car, go on a date. I wanted my baby to grow up. I wanted to see him reach 13 years old so he would be an official teenager. He had just discovered Adele, mindless behavior. He was just discovering everything about life, and it was taken away from him. And there were so many things he didn't get to finish. But with this school, part of Ryan can continue to live on at the Ryan Banks Academy.
Hi, I'm Val Groth. I'm a former school social worker who worked in Chicago Public Schools. I loved the work, I loved the students, but I saw that there were so many kids in Chicago who needed so much more than we could give them during a typical school day. So many kids who were dealing with abuse, neglect, poverty, hunger, violence in the neighborhood. I saw that there was a need to give these students a boarding school. I knew that there were so many students in Chicago who needed a 24/7 place for them to learn and to feel loved, safe, and accepted. And so I decided to create the Ryan Banks Academy. Ryan Banks Academy is a nonprofit dedicated to building the first boarding school for students in Chicago. Our school is named after Ryan Banks, who was a former student of mine. Ryan was an amazing kid. He had so much life in him and was always smiling. But unfortunately, Ryan was lost to gun violence. And Ryan was killed when he was just 12 years old. So we dedicate Ryan Banks Academy to Ryan and to all of the other students in Chicago who have been lost to gun violence, as well as the thousands of students who are in need of additional supports that we're not giving them currently.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Lee, and I'm the president and CEO of an organization called Good City Chicago. I became involved with RBA because I really believe in the mission and vision of what it stands for. It helps to select students who most of society has given up on, students who have tremendous potential, students who really want to make a difference, but a lot of times just don't have the avenue to be able to find that education. And so RBA provides that opportunity. They provide the opportunity to be able to come alongside of them, to be able to show that they have a future, that they have gifts and talents that really is needed for the community that they're a part of. And so my hope is, whether it's 1 or 2 or even 100 students through the time that I've been involved in this organization, that we're going to be able to help them recognize that they have a future and really a responsibility to do good in the society that they're from as well too.
Hi, my name is Ladella Douglas. I'm joining the board of directors for the Ryan Banks Academy. I'm here because the students that Ryan Banks Academy are seeking to serve are the kind of student that I was growing up in the city of Chicago. I believe every student deserves a safe, loving, rigorous school environment, and I'm telling you, I could have benefited from that. So that's why I'm here, to make sure that the students that are coming up in Chicago have an even better opportunity to become their best selves.
My name is Sandy Castrol, and I'm the president and co-founder of IC Stars. And we're a technology leadership and business training program for inner city adults in Chicago. And I think what attracted Val to me is, as an educational entrepreneur, I really believe in student-centered design and project-based learning, and that teaching and education is about transformation. The thing that compelled me the most about RBA is that it's anchored in a young man whose life ended way too soon. And we hear way too often stories of violence in our communities that are literally destroying us. And that if we don't do something about it, if we don't change this landscape, we will lose our future. There is an incredible need in our inner cities for kids that are at risk to not only have a safe space to learn, but a loving and caring environment that truly breeds transformation.
I'm Michael Seguero. I'm the Director of Professional Development at Eagle Rock School and Professional Development Center. It's in Estes Park, Colorado. It's a year-round residential school for kids that have dropped out of high school or look like they're not going to complete high school in a traditional setting. It's a philanthropic initiative, so it supports students, generally low income, who could not afford an alternative, to come and turn their lives around. I think that Ryan Banks Academy is such a great opportunity for Chicago youth, starting from the ground up and really designing a school around how young kids learn with such a dedicated group here.
I'm Katie Kahneman, and I have an extensive background in child, adolescent, and family therapy, as well as school counseling. I've been in the Chicago school system for over 10 years in school counseling at all levels, elementary, middle school, and high school. And being in the system for as long as I have, I've growingly become more and more frustrated. And I'm at a point where I feel like not only could we do better, but we need to do better. So when I heard about Ryan Banks Academy, I got really excited because I thought, here's an opportunity to offer an alternative solution to our educational system that, in my opinion, isn't working. So I wanted to get involved, and even more important to me is Ryan Banks' story is a story that I know all too well. There are a lot of Ryan Banks out there, only their stories don't get told.
My name's Ryan Lazarus, and I'm the chairman of board development for Ryan Banks Academy. As far as why I've been drawn to Ryan Banks Academy, it all started with our founder, Val. For a very long time, I've been interested in starting my own school at some point, but to be honest, I didn't quite have the time and the money to really run one myself. But when I heard Val's story, I thought to myself, I know a lot of people that I think we need to know in order to make this thing happen. One of the biggest problems we have is our education system. And that's not just here in Chicago, that's a big problem for the rest of the US. And if we can solve it here in Chicago, we can solve it anywhere else here in the US and really globally. So my ultimate plan has always been, how can we create a blueprint that can be scaled and expanded upon so that we can have more than just one Ryan Banks Academy. Maybe we'll have, at some point in the future, Ryan Banks Academies throughout Chicago, or they'll expand out to the West Coast or East Coast or wherever it may be. But I feel like we have to start small. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but nonetheless, we have to start from somewhere, and this is what we're doing, and this is what I want to be a part of.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm a digital marketing consultant and an inspirational author. The story of Ryan Banks really tugs at my heartstrings, knowing how short his life was cut and all the promise that he had, and knowing that there are hundreds of children across Chicago that meet the same fate. And Ryan Banks Academy is so important to be able to create a safe haven for children to be able to leave a legacy one day. An organization like this in Chicago will really help to change the educational landscape here and help to put an end to some of the horrible violence that continues to claim the lives of our children. And so anything that we can continue to do, and we can continue to do individually as well as an organization, will only make an impact on making sure that we secure the future and the fate of our children in a positive way. This is our job of how we are supposed to give back. It is our job to make sure our children live the best life possible that they can.
Thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to even watch this video. I'm sure you get quite a few people emailing you and calling you, asking them to consider supporting their organization. And we really do believe we're doing something significant here. We really do believe that every child, every person that we come in contact with is actually very valued, and that they have a tremendous opportunity to make a difference here. Our organization really wants to be able to find them. We want to be able to invest in them. We want to be able to provide them a future in a way that most other folks have really given up on them. And so we hope that you will just take a few minutes to take a look at our information, to get to know our founder, and to be able to be part of something that we're doing that we believe is very tremendous here in the city of Chicago.
We need you. The children of Chicago need you.
Will you join us?
Will you join us?